It's 420 somewhere, and right now that somewhere is right here. Hello. Welcome. I'm Janae Burris.
And I'm Jake Brown. Welcome to the Cannabist Show, where we talk all things weed and all things Producer Vince. Happy belated birthday, Producer Vince.
Happy birthday, Producer Vince.
Yep, just you came back, new hair color, went and took the youngin' out for some trick-or-treating. This has been Producer Vince Updates.
Yeah, that was his birthday. How old are you now? Can I ask? That's rude. Don't ask me. 28? 29.
Oh, it's so gross.
Damn.
When you meet anybody that's under 30 now.
Still not 30?
Like,
why are we even talking to him? Why do we even hang out with him? That's
hard
crazy.
pass.
So young.
How was your Halloween? Did you do anything fun?
Halloween. Oh, we did the Halloween roast. I got to play Michael Jackson. I did a pretty good job.
If you are not watching this podcast, if it is just in your ears right now, please go to YouTube. It is amazing.
My jokes are just all right, but my moves. Moves. I got the moves. Yeah, it was fun. We did that. Oh, and the Dodgers won Game 6. I don't even know what time this.
Yep, by the time
Friday morning. Ooh,
do you feel greedy as an Astros fan? Or as a Dodgers fan for all these poor hurricane-ravaged people of Houston
dang.
that have never won a World Series?
LA needs it too. We need it too, okay? Have you been to Dodger Stadium?
They won't let me.
Okay, it's jacked up in some places in LA. We need it too. We need it too. Sorry, Houston. Houston got big things going too. They're all right. We need it.
Congrats.
Just send your energy our way.
That's what I'm excited
What'd you do? You went to Itch.io?
I went to Itch.io. They threw a hell of a show. I'm still getting face paint out of different parts of my body. I don't know. That stuff really travels. Yeah, this is a good night. There's a lot of weed.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Oh, it's an experience. It's like Blue Man Group, but if everyone was scared. Yeah.
They kind of look like, I walked by one night, they kind of look like guar, maybe? Do you know what that is?
Oh, do I know what guar is? Do I know what guar is?
Please cut to video of him dressed as some guar people.
Blood and other things.
A baby just
everywhere.
hanging off of his body.
No, my favorite thing is guar might be performing on a Southwest airline flight. Somebody tweeted this too. I think it was Patton Oswalt. This is one of my Twitter highlights. And Guar was like, we would definitely play a concert on an airplane, so let's make it happen.
Where would that plane go?
Hell.
To hell! It's a plane to hell, starring Guar.
I'm in. All right, now it's time for the Week in Weed. Let's start with Halloween, of course, when for the millionth year in a row, no kids were given weed-infused treats. We did it, everybody! Cue the streamers, cue the marching band, cue Downey, the responsible pot brownie and official mascot of cannabis safety. Dun, 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 dun. No, despite constant fear-mongering over jazz candy making it into children's bags, there was a brand new scare this year, CBD candy. Since cannabidiol was legalized for medical purposes in North Carolina back in 2015, the state has seen more of the non-psychoactive substance being added to various products, including candies, and this led to a Charlotte NBC affiliate freaking out over the possibilities. That report noted that CBD doesn't get you, quote-unquote, high like THC, but did warn that, quote, it's known to give users a relaxed feeling, unquote. Well, it did not end there. Outlets across the country were quick to pick up the story, making the possibility of chill kids after a night of cosplay and sugar a national nightmare. Fortunately, no one was injured or chilled, as no one gives out their weed candy. Stop trying to make this a thing, media. It's not a thing. Janae?
Okay, earmuffs, kids. Colfax, California Mayor Pro Tem Tony Hesh is out here up in these streets being oh so disrespectful towards residents, okay? During a city council meeting where residents debated whether or not to keep some marijuana policies under local control, Hesh referred to pro-marijuana advocates as people who have wasted our freaking time. And needless to say, those people did not like that. You know, freaking is one of those gateway swear words, right? Gets the mouth ready for some real venom. Hesh even yelled, "You shut the expletive up," when somebody's talking. Okay, these salty words were directed at Mark Youngren, who continued to question the council after Hesh and Mayor Steve Harvey repeatedly called for order. I wonder which expletive he used. It's like a game of Mad Libs. It was probably can we say here, producer Vince? Are you gonna bleep this? Okay, you shut the shit up. Nah. No, man. No, it was probably fuck. You can bleep that, Vince. I think it would be cool if you bleep all those. Colfax City representatives tried to calm the situation, but Hesh continued to bring the DRAMA like your drunk best friend at a bar after she runs into her ex with his new boo saying, I'm not gonna settle down. Damn, bitch, be cool. Hesh and Youngren apparently had words before over the issue of regulating the growth, cultivation, delivery, and sales of cannabis. But Wednesday's meeting got real heated. As the meeting finally settled down and order was restored, Hesh fired a couple last verbal shots at Youngren and other residents who were interested in opening Colfax dispensaries, saying, you don't give a damn about the community. You just want to make money, end quote. While making money is likely the motivation behind choosing industry-friendly regulations and policies, telling people to shut up and cursing them out will do nothing to help the community, Mr. Hesh. You might want to consider packing a bowl and chilling out a bit. And in the words of the great poet Kendrick Lamar, who is known to pepper his music with an expletive or two or three, be humble, bitch. Sit down. Jake?
All right, well, Colorado is busy trying to regulate marijuana like alcohol. A U.S. beverage giant may be trying to figure out how to get marijuana in alcohol. One of our top stories this week was Constellation Brands, owner of popular booze like Corona and Svedka, buying a 9.9% stake in Canopy Growth Corporation, which is the generically non-weedy name of a Canadian cannabis company. Constellation is mostly providing analytics, marketing help, etc., but they're also helping develop cannabis-infused beverages, with no word from either company if they're planning to put any bud in your Budweiser. Now, for some, a company of Constellation's size, and I will note they recorded $7.3 billion in profit last year, they look at a behemoth like this entering the cannabis market as a sign that we've truly turned a corner in terms of normalization, but others definitely fear big businesses coming in, co-opting a movement that they've worked for years on. What I know is that the scope and size of an investment this large in Canada, not the United States, means that we're truly falling behind, and I'm personally seeing more and more people headed north with their ideas and their money. Get it together, Washington. Janae?
It's a great time to quit smoking, JB.
I got my vape.
Not just because it's aging you and ruining your beautiful skin, taking years off of your life and lowering your sperm count, but because...
When you throw in the sperm count thing, you know I'm sensitive about my swimmers.
I thought about it more, and I was like, you know what's important to Jake? What's going to change his heart and mind about smoking? Sperm count.
It's hairline, but go on.
Because beginning December 1st, smokers and vapors on Denver's 16th Street Mall will have to walk at least 50 feet down a side street to enjoy that sweet, sweet poison. You don't want to have to walk all that way, do you, Jake? The public smoking ban was approved 9-0 by the Denver City Council on Monday. The hope is that the police don't use the restrictions to single out people who are homeless and service workers taking breaks on the mall. The campaign, called Breathe Easy, is spearheaded by Downtown Denver Partnership, property owners, and public health advocates. DDP has been working since 1955 to plan, and I was like, who are these people? Plan, manage, and develop downtown Denver as the unique, diverse, vibrant, economically healthy urban core of the Rocky Mountain region. I like all those words though, Jake.
Sure.
Urban. Diverse. I'm like, I'm in. Rather than issue fines, efforts will focus on new signage and public education. Here's what visitors will need to know about the ban, which takes effect in just a few weeks. What's being banned? All kinds of cigarettes and tobacco smoking, as well as the use of vaporizers and e-cigs within 50 feet of the 16th Street Mall, all the way from Broadway to the east and Chestnut Place near Union Station to the west. Marijuana use is already banned in public spaces in Denver. Violations are a civil infraction and not a crime, but come with the potential of a $100 fine. Officers would likely give out information about the restrictions and a warning before issuing a ticket, but don't waste the police department's time, y'all, or your money with this. You could buy $100 worth of weed instead of paying that fine, or like a new fly-ass wig. Take your smoke 50 feet that away, Jake.
Oh, no.
Jake?
It's right in our backyard. What are they worried about? Secondhand vapor?
I don't know. It's not a good look, I guess.
I admit it, it's gross down there. There's a lot of.
Well, part of the reporting on it had to do with are they going to get focused on the secondhand thing, or is it about looking good? Like,
Sure.
what do we want? They don't want to mix the message, but I think they are trying to deliver both messages. They're like.
But it's like they can't figure out I-300, so no one has any place to consume, and now they're just like trying to recriminalize smoking over and over again. It's just seem bored.
I mean, but I thought it was strange that it was just like 50 feet away. That's not very much.
How many paces is that? I
think you're
like
gonna have to know.
Right. I want to also tell people definitely check out. So we've been doing the Other Roots series on the Cannabist, and we have a profile that came out this week on Inga Frickland, which I would definitely recommend checking out. There's so much that we didn't get to cover, but that's
all on the website. I mean,
it's all there for
it's all
you.
there.
For more on this and all of the stories from the Week in Weed, visit us online at thecannabist.co. Now, a few weeks ago, Janae and I went to the green carpet premiere of The Legend of 420 right here in sunny Denver, and we mingled with the who's who of cannabis. Producer V, roll that tape.
Jake Brown,
Mildly annoyed.
Janae Burris.
Okay, so they're here.
You got a handful of different weed devices.
I do.
Did you guys have a chance to see the film?
Yes.
What'd you think?
I thought it was pretty well done.
Was there enough about him?
No, of course not.
Never enough about him.
It was a little bit emotional. It really was amazing the way that they presented our family.
I thought he did a great job on the movie. Very well done, and I think it should reach a lot of people and hopefully change a lot of minds.
The Legend of 420 was dope. They did such an amazing job throwing in the comedy, throwing in like the real stories. I mean, I was crying. I was laughing my ass off.
You cried.
I'm a crier.
You cried.
I admit it.
Honestly, I'm biased. I'd say my favorite part is when my wife was in there smoking a giant bowl for about 5 to 7 seconds.
Did you cry? Some of us cried a little bit.
Try not to cry.
No, I didn't cry.
Single tear.
He cried.
Single tear.
Denzel Washington style.
Single tear. Compelling.
Can we say, is
Say,
it
keep
okay
it
to
tight,
drop
keep it
the F-bomb all the time?
Yeah, no, the film was great, right? It's these are the types of movies and documentaries that are coming out now that are starting to show the other side.
Do you want more Colorado?
We really owe a lot to Colorado, and I'm glad we did the premiere.
Colorado represents.
Come on out to Colorado. You can stay at my place. You can stay down at the Capitol. Most importantly, I think when you look at what's happening in Colorado, the streets aren't paved with gold, but the sky hasn't fallen either. And until you actually see it for yourself, there's no other way to talk about it.
You know, Colorado's been at it for a long time. I think the game's at a really high level here.
So now the movie's premiered. Can you relax a little bit, smoke on something, hang out?
Well, I've been doing that all day. How do you think I'm even here? How would I even get through the night?
You were in the film. How did you feel like you were portrayed?
I think I was portrayed pretty accurately. You know, basically, I was happy with the quotes that were in there, and you know what Peter showed of the Bong Appetit House is very true. That's just us hanging out, and it's kind of a little behind-the-scenes look that people who watch the show don't always get to see.
This is inappropriate. We're gonna edit all that out. Oh, any night where there's a bong made of ice is a great night. Our guest today helps cannabis companies understand consumers through data. Please join me in welcoming our guest, Natasha Irizarry, to the show. I still didn't get it right,
You
did I?
did.
Yes! For the listeners at home, you're just like,
clapping for you.
what on earth just happened? Welcome. Thanks for joining us. So, founder of Stashbox. What were you doing before you decided that Stashbox was it for you?
I was doing user experience design, product design, making websites for OkCupid.
Okay.
I worked at OkCupid, Allstate, more corporate brands.
Sure.
On the tech side.
Okay, so you're doing UX, and then what was like the genesis moment where you're like, I want to kind of take a little risk, big risk?
You know, I was working for I was consulting for a startup that dealt with, they were building an app for lifestyle real estate. And I was in Florida, I was in Jacksonville.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I was in Jacksonville, and I thought to myself, man, like, why isn't there anything like this for weed?
Sure.
And now there's Stash Box.
No. I love it. So, wait, you're now in Colorado. You make the leap when?
Oh, May 2015 is when we sent out our first boxes.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have a stash box here.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, it's heavier than I had expected. And this is gorgeous. So what goes into a stash box?
So every month we have a different theme.
Okay.
This box is for our October theme. And we personalize the items that go inside based on your profile. So you sign up, $30 a month, you answer a few questions about yourself, how you consume, what you like to do for fun, and then we match you with products and brands that match you.
So are you seeing kind of a different evolution of consumers now that we have more people that are interested in cannabis concentrates, that you have an entire segment of the market that only wants to eat edibles, and kind of how do you grow through that?
So, one, by asking questions constantly,
Sure.
Constantly testing things, going to every event we can to meet as many brands as we can, just not just in the industry, but in many industries. Because if someone likes edibles, then they probably like snacks, right?
Sure.
And like, what stoner doesn't like snacks?
You should see underneath the desk over there, I have a popcorn, a Fiber One bar, and then that pumpkin spice Kit Kat.
That one?
The candle flavor.
Yeah, gross.
So you're trying to draw from, because I think that's one of the common mistakes I see cannabis companies make is that they tend to get kind of this tunnel vision, and cannabis is cannabis is cannabis, and really marketing to one type of consumer. So you're out there asking people questions. What's kind of been the most mind-blowing thing that you've received back?
I have some data
Ooh.
that I'll share
Let's
with
go to
you.
the data. I'll go to the box. Oh my gosh.
So, before you get in there,
Okay, done.
the data is really cool, so you might want to wait.
Okay.
Okay. So we ask people their gender, and here's what we have. 56% are female, 42% are male, and 2% are other. Yeah.
How many people are selecting other because they don't want any information about them out there? They're just like, nope, I'm
not sure. It's a small subset. It's a small subset, but it's still super fascinating. We actually just started digging into this and to build on that just in the last couple weeks. So, I mean, that's a great question.
Yeah, well,
see.
because I always wonder, whenever I know that there's a large segment of people, especially when it comes to cannabis stuff, that still carry a lot of paranoia, even if it's something that is, totally legal to have in their possession.
I don't think they would answer it at all.
Sure. Okay, so this is optional.
Because it's not, this is optional. So it's not like a prefer not to answer, it's like
Okay.
an other.
Ah,
So gender non-binary,
interesting.
which is really cool. We're also finding that more women consume daily than men.
Really? Because I think that, I'm not going to be totally insane when I say this. I think people look at more of the cannabis market as a men's market, and young men.
They do, yeah.
So when you're finding that women are consuming more regularly, how are they consuming?
They are consuming.
I like it that you're just like, I'll go to the answer.
So water pipes are number one. So flower.
Okay.
Or something like a product like a vapor slide, which does both. 83% hand pipes, 71% vaporizers.
Okay, because people are picking all that apply, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So yeah, they pick all that apply.
Okay, so you've got people that are out there, they're vaping, they're using water pipes. I'm just going to say bongs, all right?
Yeah.
Or like little bubblers.
I can't say bongs.
No?
No.
Why not? Because
not
these are all
here.
tobacco
Because
related?
these are all rules. Yeah.
Wait, so so do you worry about kind of, I mean, I think probably the most infamous case is Tommy Chong and Chong's Bongs. That was not the name of his bong line, just for the record.
I'm sure somebody pitched it. Somebody definitely pitched Chong's Bongs. Or else you're
Who said no? Who said Tommy didn't say no to that?
Nah, Tommy didn't say no. The lawyers were like, sorry, dude.
No way. Yeah.
So what kind of like hoops are you dealing with just to make sure that you don't end up like Tommy?
Making friends with lawyers. There's one.
Okay.
It's really hard to find information on like products and which product is legal in what state. So we ask the people that make the products, because we go directly to the brands to get the products. So we ask them and we tag the products in our system. So essentially we have an area where we can tag all the products so we can match them up to the people based on where they live.
So some things would probably classify as paraphernalia in some states. I know some states like consider grinders a paraphernalia item. So how can people that are like, oh, I'm nervous, like they can just go to Stash Box and have stuff that's selected that's customizable to their own laws too? That's nuts. I didn't understand you went that deep.
Well, you have to.
Sure.
Like no one, in the grand scheme of things, we're a data company, right? We're collecting all this lifestyle data to make it easier for like cannabis consumers and the cannabis industry to grow. And in order to do that, you have to find a way to record all this information that hasn't otherwise been recorded.
Sure.
And if we need it anyway, then why not just start recording it?
Well, and I think that there's a disconnect with people too sometimes, that they go, oh, this data is out there, but nobody realizes that this data can be used to improve products or to help better serve them. Are you seeing that reflected in the companies that you're working with?
They kind of. Kind of. Yeah, I mean, they want to.
Sure.
They want to, but it's no easy task. What's cool about the cannabis industry is everyone has come from their respective industries into it. Well, I just happen to have like a data background. I only know of like a handful of people in this industry with a data background. So it's I think that the more people from like the tech industry that look at this industry, like that'll make it easier for all these brands to use data and use it more effectively. But they're collecting it. A lot of people are collecting it, which is good. Keep collecting it, because eventually you can just hire a data scientist.
And so when you look at, because I'm seeing a lot of like POS systems, and point of sale is probably the #1 place where people are aggregating data now. It's not happening as much on the back end. How is it trying to get these companies that for so long couldn't have any association with cannabis really to engage with that conversation? Have you found that they're open to it? Are some people more reticent? And if somebody maybe has a product out there and is listening to the show and is like, maybe cannabis could be a market for us, what's their entree?
So I've only encountered one brand who is just like absolutely not.
Name names.
I won't name a name, but when I tell you what kind of brand it is, you're gonna be in shock.
Okay.
It's a hemp brand.
What?
Yeah, like we've gone to hot sauce companies, we've gone to almost like everyone really, and say, hey, we have this lifestyle information on cannabis consumers who use all your products anyway. Like, do you want to like market directly to them? And they're like, most of them are like, yes.
Sure.
But this one, and it's a hemp one, was like, absolutely not. And so it was like a sales guy I was talking to. So I was like, fine. So I found the CEO on Twitter, and I emailed him and I CC'd the guy, because I never mention anybody by email without CCing them. That's like a rule.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I'm really weird about it. So
Vince, you get on the protocol, buddy.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you run this up the ladder, and
the CEO never replied, and this has happened a lot with CEOs. The CEO will never reply, but the underling will.
And he's like, listen, we have this conversation.
And he's like, absolutely not. We're not going to do it. We're not interested. And I'm like, that's okay, because all your competitors are.
So that's what you're finding is now that not using data or not being data driven as a company, it really becomes a competitive loss for them.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like data driven, but like be insightful. Like let data like you still have to use your intuition.
Sure.
Like intuition is like the most important part of it, I think. data and insights, and the insights that data provides, combined with your intuition, is like the secret sauce. So.
Yeah, well, and especially when data tells you things that are counterintuitive, which is a great way to kind of challenge, I think, some long-held beliefs, especially when it comes to cannabis. When we're talking about mainstreaming. Or can I look in the box?
Yes, but I have a cool data point about what you just said.
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
Okay. Did you know that people who smoke blunts are cleaner than people who vape?
Wait, what? Wait, okay, how are we defining cleaner?
Like, they clean more.
All right, so is there like some kind of like antenna in the vape or in the blunts? How do we know this?
You ask them.
Okay, so
Yeah.
How do you get, because I'm probably going to come out dirty after I ask this question, how do you quantify how clean somebody is?
So you ask them whether they vape or they
Sure.
prefer to vape or they prefer to smoke a blunt. Like kind of like Tinder, right? You swipe right for yes, left for no.
Okay.
You swipe right if you like to smoke blunts. You swipe left if you use vapes. You don't smoke vapes. You vape vapes, right?
You vape vapes? I vape vapes. This has been a vape-heavy episode.
And then, if the next question is like, you like to clean or do you like to cook?
Oh.
Right? More people who vape prefer to cook.
Is that more of like a flavor, or God, I wonder. But who are the people that only smoke blunts or that prefer blunts?
A lot of people.
Really?
Yes, more people than you would think. Yeah.
I got yelled at for smoking a blunt like in one of my early reviews, and I feel like my blunt life has gone by the wayside.
Well, they have those hemp blunts now. The vegan hemp wrap
Why
blunts.
vegan?
Yeah.
What
I
makes
wish I would have thrown it in there if I knew.
Vince, it's not that fun. I just want to know what would classify.
That's what they say, right? Vegan hemp blunts.
Jamie's not. What? Yeah. What are people putting in?
Who knows?
Okay,
I don't want to know. But I mean, like you think about it. Like there are vegan consumers,
Sure.
and it's like a huge market. And there's all these products that you're like, you don't even think about it. Like that fancy leather like lighter case that people have. Like, nope, not vegan. Like, so for these vegan consumers who want like a more, I guess, a classier like experience when it comes to weed,
But
they
they're not
have a
looking
harder
for
time.
Well, because everyone pitches, leather as the upscale option.
Yep.
What are you seeing in terms of trends for upscale, and where people are introducing these luxury brands into cannabis?
Just like any other industry, like artisan stuff made. I say made in the USA, but what I mean is like artisan stuff.
So
all
small
natural.
batch or handmade. Okay, so it's just like the etsification of cannabis.
That's a good word.
Now.
Etsification. There you go, Etsy.
Yeah, put $1 and send it in the
Yeah.
It's a
mail.
lexicon now.
Yeah. All right. Crack open the box. So Jamie designed this box.
Okay, thank you, Jamie.
Yep, it's the mystic theme.
Ooh, all right. So hot sauce, enhanced sensory experience.
So here's something for you. So our data set. So in our data,
Notice does not contain marijuana. That's great. Okay, in the data.
62% of our people like to cook.
But how many? I mean, but 99% of people like hot sauce, right?
Not true.
Is that a safe bet? Like when you're curating something like this, what do you do for the people that are like, I'm not going to like one of these items?
Something else. There's an endless amount of products. There's so many.
Sure. So when they get feedback and they're like, oh, these socks are banging. These are clearly amazing socks for very tiny feet.
Yeah, actually, I threw this in there for Sam. I didn't know you were on the show, so you can totally out.
Jay, those are hemp made,
They're not hemp.
They're not hemp? Good. They just get that price
I don't
point.
have any fancy socks like you have that are like marijuana themed.
They're great.
Well, and these socks are vegan.
Oh, cool.
Those ones are?
Yep.
Great. Are they cage-free, hen-free?
I hope so. If there's a sock cage, I'd hate to see it. Okay, so people like to cook, and so you can toss in pot sauce, and they clearly have like the Jamaican guy.
You can do so much more than that. You can toss in pot sauce. You can toss in any kind of like edible cooking deal.
I thought that was.
So this right here, this is our featured product in November. So every box gets these. It's a Sherlock from China glass.
Pretty.
These are made like from a small province in China for like, I think it's something crazy, like over 100 years. Yeah.
And so you're actually sourcing from there.
We have a supplier in Savannah, Georgia, who works directly with them.
That's because China is a very controversial country in the world of glass because so many products get knocked off over there. So
this is
what
different.
an interesting, right? This actually comes from a culture that makes this specific glass. And this is like a nice high-end piece.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. Like you could leave that on the table and let your parents see it. Like,
So-
it's art, Mom.
Right.
Yeah. So this is a Tremoji enamel pin. We have a free sticker app in the App Store where you can, drag stickers of like gold joints and other joints onto your friends' faces.
What?
Yeah, it's called Tremoji.
I
You
feel
can
like
download
Sam
it for
Talent
free.
uses that. We have a comedian friend that's always putting weird emojis on people's faces.
Yeah.
But okay, and
Does
so.
he?
Well, it's like a lot of promotional stuff that he does. But okay, so you've got like the hat pin here.
Yep, so we have a different one of those every month, and they're serialized and limited edition.
Oh, so people they're
Collect
collecting
them.
something and have like a little takeaway.
Yeah.
And then there's more. Oh,
We got some Tremoji stickers.
these are so much better than the other stickers that we had on the show, and I won't mention them by name. Check those out. Okay, I keep seeing these papers everywhere.
OCB has been my favorite paper since I started consuming.
Okay, so
Which I was a late bloomer, so whatever. But
what does a late bloomer mean?
I started smoking
Last
weed
month.
after I was 21.
Really?
Yeah.
You made the bold foray into cannabis.
Yeah. Well, I have lupus.
Okay.
Yeah, I
and
was diagnosed with lupus. I mean, I smoked weed before I knew I had lupus, but not for long because then I got pregnant.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're like, freeze
Yeah,
frame
it's like,
record scratch.
like a month after. I was like, oh man, okay. But
I don't think I've ever talked to anybody that manages their symptoms with cannabis that has lupus.
yeah, well, it's not just cannabis. I have to like control it with my diet and a whole bunch of other things.
What-
No meds though. I don't use meds anymore.
Congrats.
Thanks,
That's
yeah.
awesome. And so you're using cannabis, and you found the OCB papers later.
I love OCB. I love OCB papers, but I think it was my ex-boyfriend. Just like he was like, you have to use these, and he's like weed pro. So
Really? Okay, my first papers were the ones that had the little, the metal
Randy's
thing in
wired
them.
papers.
Randy's, the wires. I
yeah,
haven't seen those.
we
That
have
was
those in the
total
box
mess.
sometimes. Yeah, we work with Randy's a lot. In October, we had their all-natural citrus cleaner.
Ooh, I like this Be Kind lighter, and
Thank you.
it's a stash box lighter, but this is like a nice Bic quality.
It's a Bic lighter.
It's a Bic lighter.
Yeah.
Oh, it actually is a Bic.
Yeah, we go for branded items. We really think that if we're going to white label our brand in something, we really want to represent, have quality products. So
Absolutely.
It's Bic.
And then the Eves of Eden paper crowns.
Have you heard of these?
I have not.
So this is a Canadian company. These are
Okay.
filter tips.
So a lot of people don't know about filter tips.
Animals.
I found my first filter tip in a pack of cigarettes back when I was a youngster. But how would people use something like this? So
They just take one off.
I bought a pack recently and tried to use one, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Meh.
Well,
these?
some are perforated, which make it easier. Like the raw ones are perforated. These are not. But this is like a woman owns this in Canada. I can't remember her name. But she's a small Canadian company. Her V2 definitely needs to have perforations.
Great feedback.
Yeah, and
Janae is like, I don't know how to work this thing. We need
so
perforation.
you just kind
perforation
of like
would help.
accordion it up a few times.
Oh, so you do the accordion method.
Yeah, there's lots of different ways. There's like 10 different ways. Oh, someone's calling me. My watch is going off. It's like, I need my
all
phone for the
happening.
data. Oh, and then I did it backwards. Ugh, this
Wait,
is
so
why
you don't get the cool
perforation's
design?
up. Yeah, I'll fix it. Don't worry.
All right, so people they get the box. It's curated differently each month. What's the next month's theme?
Next month's theme is harvest. It's meant to be like a centerpiece kind of for your table. with the China glass. The whole idea is kind of like bust out the fine china.
Hey, I get it.
Yeah, which was pretty good. That's a pretty good line.
Here.
Yeah, like I love any time I can make a pun. I like it.
In. All right, well, let's do it. It is time for Pot or Not.
Okay, I'm ready. Here's this.
Okay.
America's favorite game show. The rules are simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say things that are pot or they're not. You tell me if
Oh,
you think
shoot.
which one it is.
Okay.
Are you ready?
No, yeah.
Okay. Number 1, onion sword. Is it pot or is it not?
No.
It is not. 1 point.
Oh man, there's a ding.
Oh yeah.
There's a board.
There's a board.
And there's a board. Oh, Amy, here I come. I'm just kidding. And Jim, all these people.
You're on the right track. All right, Onion sword, Final Fantasy weapon for all of you fantasy fans.
Hey, did you see this? My chocobo?
No.
And my moogle?
So, okay, this was like right in your wheelhouse.
I knew it. I got it.
I'm going to crush this. All
How
right,
many
number
more
2.
video games you got?
Number 2, blue cheese.
Yeah.
Definitely pot. Dang. Blueberry
I
UK
think
cheese.
I would
Old
like
classic.
that.
It gives you. It's kind of like a fruit plate kind of vibe. It's fruity but cheesy. It complements things well, I guess. Number 3, OG Simpson. OG Simpson.
Oh no. I don't know. Shoot.
Good.
Can Jamie give me a hint?
Jamie, what do you think?
You said I couldn't.
No, you can phone a friend.
Phone a friend?
OG Simpson.
Okay, yeah.
It is not.
Shit, I knew
betrayed. That's from Twitter user @GregEllisComedy. Thank you, Greg Ellis.
Greg.
OG Simpson's getting you a cannabis tote bag, buddy.
Gosh, you got me.
You stumped. All right, let's go. We'll keep rolling on with number 4, Bodega Bubblegum. Bodega Bubblegum.
I don't know.
Good. All right, so the game's
no.
working.
No.
You're going to say no?
I'm going to say no.
It is
Oh,
Bodega Bubblegum
God.
from Greenpoint Seeds. It's the old like Indiana bubblegum. They
Okay.
crossed it with Stardog, and I'm like, I don't know where you get Bodega out of there.
I don't know how you remember all this.
Thank you.
I guess it's your job.
One of those terrible brain worms that's just rolling around in there. All right, number 5. Let's get you back on track with Pina Collision. Pina Collision.
I don't know. No.
It is.
Oh, gosh.
MTG Seeds. Big shout out. I want to try this.
I
one.
need flashcards.
Leafly,
Leafly, where are the flashcards?
Yeah, Leafly.
Bill me later.
Yep, Pot or Not, now sponsored by Leafly. All right, number 6. I'm going to not say this. Acrocodia indica.
It's gotta be.
It is not.
Oh,
I'm
God.
sorry.
You trick her with your mispronunciation?
That's a scientific name for the Malaysian taper.
Oh, wow.
Ugly baby tapers.
You're good.
All right, let's get you back on track with number 7, baby wrist.
Oh, what?
Baby wrist.
No, I hope not.
That is not. It is, it's just a funny term for tendinitis that parents get from picking up babies so much.
Oh,
You get
okay.
baby wrist.
Wait, you don't hold babies like that.
Well, you pick them up and
Either don't
You
pick
hold
them
them
up
by the wrist. You have to like use your.
you don't use your wrist as much as baby holding.
That's what I was thinking. Baby wrist.
I'm
I was
learning
thinking
a
poor
lot.
Baby.
Producer Vince, can you verify you got a baby? How's those
You don't
wrists?
hold your baby by the wrist, do you?
Wrists are strong, but there's not a lot of shaking. I think.
Okay, good.
God.
You don't shake the babies.
All right, let's go to number 8, Cirrus.
Oh, sure.
It's not. That's just a cloud. All right. We only got 2
You
more.
spell it.
This is.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Can I use, yep, that's the word from here on out. Number 9, Bermuda Sour.
Please, yes.
Yes, it is. Deschutes Growery. I really, I need to track this down. It's East Coast Sour D and Triangle Kush, so they're like connecting the coast with. I just want to try it. All right, number 10, final one, Ghost Train Haze.
Sure.
It definitely is. Congratulations! 5 points.
Yay!
Natasha.
Half right.
You're not making the board, but you're not making the
okay.
board of shame as well.
Oh, there's a board of shame?
Well, we keep it in the back.
Oh.
Where can people find
Never
you
say
online?
these names again.
At Get Stashbox everywhere.
Cool.
You can Google Stashbox, we'll come up. You probably can't spell my last name, but you can find me through Stashbox.
Awesome. All right, Janae, what do you get going on?
Oh, tonight, you can see me at Glenwood Vaudeville Review with headliner Josh Blue. And Josh Blue England, Which Springs, and Wednesday, November 8th, I'm part of a special Narrators at the McNichols Building. Narrators is one of my favorite shows. But today is First Friday, so if you're in Denver tonight, please go to Comedy Room to see the Pussy Bros show with my pals Christy Buckley and Rachel Weeks. Support women in comedy, please, and follow me on Twitter at Negative Negro.
All right, well, thanks again to Natasha Irizarry for joining us today, and thanks to you for tuning in at home. Send us your pot or not suggestions on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram with the hashtag pot or not, and give our brand new Twitter account a follow at the Cannabist Show. For producer Vince, for Janae Burris, for Don, the main man with the headphones on, I'm Jake Brown. This has been the Cannabist Show. We'll see you next week.
Say it again, ain't afraid to get in. I be going for the jackpot with aces in my hand, I'm raw.